Hey guys, it's Cassie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a pretty special video planned for you. I received a package of antique and vintage photos and ephemera from Amy. Her Instagram screen name is Post and Poem Vintage. So I had her curate a package of vintage and antique photos and ephemera, and she sent it to me. I received it maybe Monday of this week. And anyway, I was like instantly inspired to use them with my birthday collection of journals. So because she also included a few extras for like as a birthday gift. So anyway, I wanted to do the unboxing. I'm not going to show you what's in my pile. You guys kind of have a sneak peek of a few pieces that are in the package. But I'm going to do a quick unboxing of what she sent me, and then afterward we're going to come back and make a little cover embellishment flap. So this is like a closure for a journal. So I'm going to walk you through how I do one of these, and yeah, so enjoy the unboxing and I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Okay, so for the cover flap closure, we're gonna use one of the vintage photos that came in Amy's package or a postcard or some kind of ephemera that's roughly the same size, minus an inch or so, as your journal cover. So alternatively, you could include this inside the pages of the journal, so you could add it in with, like, let's say this is a bundle of pages for a journal. You could add this in as like a front page and just leave the eyelet out. So it's just a really great like page style like embellishment. We're gonna use them as a cover closure. Like, this is something that I used to do a lot with my insert style journals or single signature journals. So I'm gonna walk you guys through how I make one, and hopefully you enjoy it. And as always, if you do enjoy this tutorial, please just give me a thumbs up. That really helps boost my videos on the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. Okay, so I have 4 or 5 including the journal that I'm doing as my giveaway. So I want to make a cover closure for this journal cover, which was the first one that I made, actually. So if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you know that last month I've been been really struggling with like an artistic kind of block, and so this was like a really great exercise for me to kind of get over that. Okay, while I'm thinking about it, so a lot of the photos that Amy included for me were landscape orientation. So portrait is up and down, landscape is side to side. So this is the landscape and it's really wide. So that doesn't exactly work well for this type of orientation on the cover. I could always turn it to where it's just sideways, and I feel like that's fine. So like this one would look really great, I think. But I do think that I want to use this photo with this cover. And so obviously this envelope, oh, the supplies you'll need. The supplies you'll need for this project, obviously small ephemera, and then a vintage envelope or some other kind of paper. You want to make sure that the envelope is wide enough to cover like a good section of the cover itself, and also be wide enough to allow for the entire photograph or ephemera piece to fit on the front of the envelope. So this one was obviously too narrow for the cover closure. If you're allowing for space for the pages inside the journal and the cover, like if you use this envelope without excuse me, without using the photo turned on its side like this, obviously it's not going to be able to close. So it would kind of stay open like that. And that's not really the look we're going for, so I'm going to use kind of a card envelope, I guess, instead of a letter sized envelope. So now I just need to decide what part of the envelope I want to use as the base. The good thing about using an envelope that's actually larger than you need is that you can fold this down, like the excess down, and kind of create like a little pocket, or fold it, you know, and when you do your stitching it would help close it in to be kind of a pocket or a tuck spot. Re-close the envelope. Oh, okay. So yeah, this one's a little bit fragile. You can see here, we're gonna reopen this side, but you can see where the fold is just really kind of fragile and already breaking. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. This, you know, is something that I really enjoyed doing with my journals, like I said. And it's just a really easy way to add like a really interesting piece for your journals. Okay. And of course you could leave it closed and actually just reopen one side and make an altered envelope at this point. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the project as we were planning to do. I like to use a letter opener most of the time just because it kind of creates a neater edge, I guess. But it's not like it was cut with scissors. Just put that back over here. Okay. So now you can see it's like a page at this point. I'm just gonna pick out some little paper scraps. I don't know if this is actually wide enough. I have a little pile over here. This was like some wrapping paper that someone had used on a package that I received, so I feel like that fits well with this collection. Okay. About 1 inch to 1.5 inches wider than the envelope. Oops. Okay, so now, scissors. You can choose to tear it down. I'm just gonna use my scissors and cut it. Also at this point you can ink. I'm not going to just because these journals are shabby, but they're not like just really grungy. So I'm not going to use any ink in this project. You will notice I do have my sewing machine out. I did stitch the fabric scraps. So I just have like a little bit of lace and a little fabric scrap here, some small washi tape and a ticket, and then an eyelet and crocodile or eyelet setter are also supplies. I'm the worst about giving supply lists. Okay. So I'm gonna get my cover back out and just see how I want this to lay. So I think I'm gonna tear it down a little bit this way. Excuse me. Just because we don't need it to be that wide. And I feel like as you cover the cover, as you cover up details on the cover, you kind of lose some of the appeal of the journal. So creating like a little embellishment without covering too much of the original base cover is kind of the key, I guess. So now I'm just going to fold this down. Okay. Lennon will start school next week, actually on Thursday. He is starting pre-K. I can't even believe it. Okay, so I'm gonna use that. Let's drop my scissors on my foot. I'm just reaching behind for a bit of lacy fabric. So I have this really old piece here. So yeah, adding folds and like just wrinkling a piece of fabric is an easy way to kind of get some added texture without adding too much like actual fabric. If that makes sense. Like it helps add some detail without just bulking everything up too much. I think maybe I trimmed this one a little bit too small, like we're losing some of the rows. We'll do a tuck like that. And I don't exactly want to lose my stamp. Couldn't think of what it was called. So I'm not gonna cover that part up. I am gonna pre-stitch and glue this embellishment on, the fabric embellishment, just because the envelope is so fragile already and I don't want to perforate it and risk making it rip. But normally I would just go ahead and stitch right on the envelope. So all I did, I know that was kind of off camera, I just added like a line of stitching here. So technically you could use this as like a little tiny tuck spot if it were stitched directly on the envelope like this one was. So it just kind of creates like this little tuck spot there. But I mean, it wasn't exactly meant to be used that way. I'm just saying you can. I just love this photo. This was one of my favorites from the whole pack. It's like, I guess a mother and her 3 daughters, maybe? But I just love it. So I'm gonna mount it a little bit closer to the top of the flap closure, the closure flap, and just add a tiny bit of glue here and here to hold our little pocket closed. And then I will add maybe one of these pink tickets. I have all these tickets that I need to use. I just love these. So my thinking with the ticket is to just add an extra little reinforcement where the binding will end up being. Also, you could add it across like so where the eyelet will go to kind of reinforce. Like I think I might actually do this and do the ticket under just to add some extra reinforcement, because the eyelet obviously will have some stretch and give or pull on the actual paper itself. So having a layer of fabric and the ticket and the envelope and the photo just creates like this really thick base for the eyelet. So I'm just gonna add this ticket right there. I don't want to cover up my stamp all the way, so I'm just gonna turn this a little bit. You can always add another stamp. But I do like seeing the original stamps and details of the envelope. So I try to always leave a little bit of the handwriting showing and the postmark and the stamp, just so you can tell it was originally like an envelope. Obviously you can use washi tape or any kind of other paper scrap. I just have all these tickets that I need to use. And turn this down. Kind of like it hanging, actually. I don't want to cover too much of any of our ladies here. Alright, so I'm really liking this. Obviously you can use some sari trim or something more shiny. I feel like journals should always have a little bit of shine, sparkle on the cover, and in this case I used a tiny bit of little gold trim here and some mother of pearl buttons, but I'm not going to add any like sequins or anything to my little closure flap. And the last thing, obviously, is to add it when you're binding. So you would just bind it exactly like it were part of the journal. So just stabilize it however you choose to do that. I use the binder clips and poke your holes like normal and bind it. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, I love to see, oh yeah, the eyelet. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. So yeah, I'm just going to add my eyelet probably right here. I don't know what happened to my other crocodile. This one does not work as well as my teal colored one. Mostly because my brother was using it for leather and it got really used. Like it kind of creaks when you use it. Okay. All right. So there we go. Okay, and now, like, obviously everything I had said about binding it, and then just use like a ribbon or twine or whatever choice closure string you would like. A note about where to place the eyelet. I always pay attention to where the horizontal string or ribbon or whatever you're going to use to close the journal will lay on the photograph. So obviously it's going to lay somewhere down here. I don't want to cover any of these ladies or their faces or any of the wallpaper, so I kind of chose to place my eyelet in this kind of hazy, like blurry area. Here on this one, obviously I couldn't put it too far up just because like that would be weird to have a closure way up here in perspective of the journal. So I chose to place it kind of in between the head areas of the two groups. If I had planned to place my closure lower on the journal, which is totally possible, you can place it anywhere you'd like, then you could use the eyelet somewhere up here. So yeah, obviously pay attention to where the eyelet or the closure will lay on in perspective with the photograph. And that's it. That's basically the whole tutorial. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to see your projects. Tag me or share them on your stories and tag me on Instagram. It's Dust to Roses. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend and happy crafting.